Something quite interesting is happening in China's automotive industry. People in China are buying fewer cars. But at the same time, China's auto exports are growing rapidly, and a significant portion of those exports are heading to Europe. At first glance, this might seem like just another story about the automotive industry, but it could actually be a sign of a much larger economic shift. That's because China has built up massive automotive production capacity over the years, especially in electric vehicles, batteries, electric motors, and electronic systems. China has established a robust production and supply chain in these areas. But now, there's a problem. China's domestic car market isn't growing as fast as it used to. In fact, car sales in China fell by about 21% in July. In contrast, car exports rose by about 88%. In other words, while people in China are buying fewer cars, Chinese manufacturers are selling far more cars to the rest of the world. So where are these cars going? Europe is becoming one of the most important markets for Chinese manufacturers. And the reason for this is actually quite simple. Europe is a huge automotive market. It is also in the process of transitioning to electric vehicles. Chinese companies, meanwhile, have gained a significant advantage thanks to their strong battery supply chains and lower production costs. This is creating serious competition for European automakers because it's not just about cheaper cars. Europe's automotive sector employs millions of people. Behind the car factories are steel producers, parts manufacturers, and logistics companies. In other words, a shift in the automotive sector affects a much larger part of the economy. And Europe is already grappling with other challenges: high energy costs, the cost of transitioning to electric vehicles, and weak consumer demand. Now, on top of all this, there is even stronger competition coming from China. Major European manufacturers, such as Volkswagen, are also being forced to reassess their costs and production capacities in this new environment. This is where the story gets even more interesting, because Chinese companies don't just want to ship cars to Europe. They're also starting to manufacture right here in Europe. They're building factories, they're forming local partnerships, they're integrating into supply chains. So in the future, the question may not simply be, how many Chinese cars are sold in Europe? Instead, perhaps the real question will be, who is manufacturing cars in Europe? Because two different economic models are pitted against each other here. On one side is China, with its massive production capacity and a robust battery supply chain. On the other side is Europe, struggling with high costs and an expensive transition process. This competition won't just determine car prices, it will dictate the future of factories, employment, and Europe's global industrial power. Because China's automotive sector no longer produces just for China, it's producing for the world, and Europe has become ground zero for this new industrial war. So, in the coming years, the most important question won't be which country makes the best car, or even how many Chinese cars are sold in Europe. The real question is, how much will China transform Europe's entire automotive industry? And this story is just beginning. If you enjoy this kind of content and don't see the economy as just headlines, you can subscribe to the EcoVantage report. See you in the next video.